What does it actually mean? Let me give you an example. Do you know what is compact fluorescent bulbs? The average life of a compact fluorescent bulb is between 8 and 15 times that of the older type of light bulb, and a compact fluorescent bulb uses just 20 to 33% of the power of equivalent old type of light bulb. I think all of you must have been using compact fluorescent bulb at home. All of you should know that if we all switch to use compact fluorescent bulbs, more energy must be saved. However, the paradox is that when you know compact fluorescent bulbs can save energy and money, you may end up using compact fluorescent bulbs more. For example, you may leave the lights on at your home overnight, or you may even use 2 or more compact fluorescent bulbs to light up your house when actually one is enough. So the key reflection about ecological modernization is that we have to ask ourselves, have we really improved our efficiency? The amount of energy, for example, required to produce each unit of the world's economic output, or what is known as energy intensity, has fallen more or less steadily over the past half-century. Energy intensity in the United States is more than half what it was in 1975. Since 1980, world real GDP has also been growing faster than global energy use. That is to say, global energy intensity has been decreasing annually. Meanwhile, global carbon intensity, that is the amount of CO2 emitted for each unit of economic output produced, also fell by an average of roughly 1% a year from 2000 to 2014. In short, we can have the same unit of economic growth with less and less amount of energy consumption over time. Does this sound good to you? Or is it good news? The answer is both yes and no. Why yes and no? As we should distinguish between 2 types of efficiencies. The first one is relative efficiency, which refers to the well-documented decreasing, per unit, intensities. But there is also another aspect of efficiency, the absolute efficiency. This is where real sustainability is possible, as absolute efficiency refers to a reduction in total throughput and emissions. From a long-term sustainability perspective, we should achieve both types of efficiency. If we only have relative efficiency but we continue to increase our overall impact on the environment, then we can never achieve sustainability. Let's look at the real data from the United States. Although we can see relative efficiency gains in terms of CO2 emissions, that is CO2 emissions per US dollar, the total CO2 emissions are still growing. In 2010, sociologist Richard York examined the above trends in the case of the top 5 CO2-emitting nations: China, the United States, Russia, India, and Japan. York found that each economy, and the global economy as a whole, is trending toward improved relative efficiency gains in terms of CO2 emissions, per inflation adjustment unit of GDP, but their overall CO2 footprints are growing at alarming rates. So the implication from the Jevons paradox and also the research by Richard York is that we only have improvements in relative efficiency now, but yet to have improvement in absolute efficiency. The next question you should have in your mind now is, how can then we achieve absolute efficiency? Well, there is no definite answer to this difficult question, but let me provide you some food for thought. Let's use the example of plastic recycling. Is recycling environmentally friendly? It really depends. For example, when you compare between the energy used in recycling a plastic bottle and the energy used in producing a new plastic bottle, which one used less energy? Another example, the comparison between the environmental impact in recycling a plastic bottle and the environmental impact in trashing the plastic bottle in landfill. The answer is also quite obvious. But wait, what if we were comparing recycling to the act of not consuming the item in the first place? Recycling is a big loser in this comparison. Remember the so-called 3 Rs of environmentalism: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Recycling is only the last in this hierarchy. Reducing our use of resources and also reducing our consumption are always the most important key to environmental protection.